If the evangelicals vote, they determine the election. It's a fabulous life.
Welcome to WatchMojo, and today we're counting down our picks for the most chilling documentaries released since the new millennium.
Do you believe that they're devil worshippers?
Oh yeah, I do. Somebody said they were doing freaky experiments and crap like that.
Number 20, The Nightmare.
Last ditch effort of everything I had, I just wrenched my body. As soon as I flipped over on top of her, I woke up. And I was still laying in my original position, none of it had happened. And I was just completely shocked. I had no idea what was going on. And I just did not know what to make of it.
While we may think bad dreams are only confined to our minds, there are ways they can manifest in the real world. Sleep paralysis, a temporary condition wherein one's brain wakes up but their body remains frozen, is the center of the nightmare. Sufferers recount their experiences with the state, including visual and auditory hallucinations and even feeling as though they were being touched.
The person on the other end was just this very pleasant man. And he was like, "Hello, I was wondering if you could do me a favor."
What kind of favor?
Let me in.
As if that isn't off-putting enough, they then recreate each person's tale with visual representations of the supposed demons bothering them. They also delve into how other cultures see the phenomenon as proof of demonic possession and the ancient rituals they use to expel them. It shows how our minds will find ways to work against us, even while unconscious.
There was never an explanation for the shadow man except for hypnagogic hallucinations, which is a nice word that the doctors like to throw around, but it really means you just imagined it.
My guess is we conceptualize things in our unconscious based on, snippets of information that we picked up along the road, somehow.
Number 19, Tickled.
One of the reasons that it's hard for us to go on camera or to take part in a documentary is that, first of all, we don't think it would be very good for the company that we work for, because it seems like the spin, we have no control over what the spin would always be.
The internet is full of strange rabbit holes that are often tempting to dive down. However, in doing so, you may come across something you can never unsee. The director of Tickled experienced this firsthand after stumbling across a video depicting competitive endurance tickling, and immediately knew he had to know more.
I wake up every morning to a message from Jane and Brian Media, who you guys work for, with a list of various personal attacks and also legal threats. That's been happening daily.
You started this fight. I didn't. You were the ones that decided this is what you were going to do.
The film covers his descent into the phenomenon, all while being insulted and threatened by the company distributing tickling videos. Things only become more twisted as victims remarked on the financial abuse and blackmail they underwent by the perpetrator. After seeing this, it'll be near impossible to see a piece of odd content without wondering about the person on the other end or their true intentions for making it.
You're not welcome here.
We're not welcome here?
And I'm calling the police. Bye. Out.
All right, we'll head off. You don't want to do any final chats or anything? Last opportunity?
Number 18, Beware the Slender Man.
One thing about Morgan that always struck us as a little odd was that she didn't react the way that you would expect her to react, like at the movies.
The internet has allowed even the creepiest creations to become widespread phenomena, for better or for worse. When Slender Man first took the web by storm, no one could have ever guessed it would culminate in a brutal murder attempt. The documentary about the case delves into the teenage suspects' mentalities, such as their belief in the boogeyman and their insistence that the stabbing was at his bequest.
If you're a proxy, supposedly you live in Slender Mansion that all the creepypastas supposedly live in, and it's supposedly in the middle of Nicollet National Park. I wanted to prove all skeptics wrong.
Despite physical proof of their obsession, such as chilling drawings, their parents were still left in the dark up until the stabbing took place, showing how easily concerning behavior can slip under the radar. As if the crime itself wasn't enough, it's accompanied by unsettling animations and visuals that would frighten even the bravest souls.
It's hard with kids because they don't necessarily know how to differentiate between fantasy and reality to begin with. So it's just hard to know, you know, where to draw the line. Where does that become abnormal?
Number 17, Dear Zachary, a letter to a son about his father.
He called back to the Sunnyvale police station, so he gave me another number, and then I got through to Sergeant Krulak, and he said, your son is dead under suspicious circumstances. Have you got any idea why he was in the park?
A harrowing watch. Dear Zachary follows Kurt Kenny as he makes a movie about Andrew Bagby, his lifelong friend who was allegedly murdered by his ex, Shirley Jane Turner. Turner revealed shortly after Andrew's death that she was pregnant with their child, but police had a difficult time pinning the murder on her.
I have to tell you that Andrew is dead.
Are you sure?
Yes, ma'am, I am. I'm absolutely sure.
The movie is intended as an archive of Andrew, a widely loved person by all accounts for his son Zachary. But the project became more complex the longer it went on, and by the time it was finished, it had become a fully fledged documentary. An examination of loss and grief. Dear Zachary is as poignant as it is upsetting.
This film was no longer a letter to you. It was now a letter to someone else.
Number 16, The Blackout Experiments.
I started to have some second thoughts about whether or not I should do this. I signed my life away going to this place.
Despite it going against so many of our natural instincts, there are still people that will intentionally put themselves through the most extreme or terrifying circumstances. So what exactly drives them to do this? The Blackout Experiments dives into this phenomenon by interviewing those who had taken part in an uncomfortably immersive haunted house experience.
You know, we all live once, and I guess we all want to do something that's risk-taking or scary.
Although they're put through extremely intense scares, ranging from being partially stripped to being put through various methods of torture, they still come back for more. As the sessions continue to ramp up, the audience is left wondering when it will all go too far. It is a fascinating look at how far some will go to push themselves, even when there's no reward for doing so.
It felt like S&M.
Upon receipt of this email, fill out the questionnaire below and send it back today.
I see a camera on and it's watching me.
Number 15, Tell Them You Love Me. The thought of someone abusing their position to take advantage of others is awful. Tell Them You Love Me follows Anna Stubblefield, a former college professor who'd been helping Derek Johnson, a non-speaking man with cerebral palsy, express himself.
And when I asked him to spell as many words as he could using these 4 letters, he made a very good showing.
The documentary shows examples of their communication, giving off the impression that they were becoming closer. Eventually, Stubblefield took advantage of him, claiming they were in love.
He asked me to kiss him, and I did.
That's when it was revealed that he was incapable of communicating with her in the way she claimed, and that there was no way he could have consented. This reveal recontextualized both their entire relationship and the film as a whole. Even after being convicted in 2015, she is still convinced she hasn't done anything wrong.
From my perspective, she was having conversations with herself.
Number 14, Mommy, Dead and Dearest. Released by HBO, Mommy, Dead and Dearest chronicles the events that led to Dee Dee Blanchard's death.
The truth is, okay, I'll admit it. I did actually stab her. I will admit it.
It details how she committed factitious disorder imposed on another, or what was once known as Munchausen syndrome by proxy, on her daughter, Gypsy Rose. Blanchard essentially made it seem like her daughter suffered from a number of terrible ailments. While upholding the lie, the mother put her child through unnecessary surgeries and other terrible things. Gypsy Rose then conspired with her boyfriend, Nicholas Godejohn, to kill Blanchard. It's unsettling to think of the horrors that pushed a daughter to slay her own mother. No matter how you view it, Mommy, Dead and Dearest makes for one creepy viewing experience.
I take blame on myself and I blame other people, but I never once blame y'all.
Number 13, Holy Hell.
I thought I was capturing life and expressing love.
While searching for a new home and a new purpose in the 1980s, film grad Will Allen fell in with the Buddha-Field New Religious Movement, a cult based in West Hollywood at the time.
It was all designed to show how devoted you really were.
He wanted to control the social lives, the interactions of everybody, what they did.
Allen became the group's documentarian and lived with them for 22 years, finally leaving in 2007. He became inspired to make a movie and used all the footage he had of his time with the Buddha-Field cult and its leader, Michelle, to create Holy Hell. This direct look at the inner workings of a cult is both rare and creepy, made all the more unsettling by the fact that the cult continues to this day, now based in Hawaii.
Even to this day, I don't understand. But some people still stayed.
Number 12, The Imposter.
It gives you nightmares. It really does.
In 1994, 13-year-old Nicholas Barkley disappeared in Texas. Three years later, a man claiming to be Nicholas came forward. But this man wasn't Nicholas at all. He was Frédéric Bourdin, a French con artist. The Imposter explains how Bourdin was able to get away with it for so long, despite being significantly older than Nicholas and not looking anything like him. It's incredibly disturbing how Bourdin inserted himself into the Barkley family and tricked them into accepting him. Most remarkable of all, however, is that director Bart Layton conducted interviews with Bourdin himself, which makes the case even more complex as he somehow manages to come across as sympathetic.
From as long as I remember, I wanted to be someone else.
Number 11, Cropsey.
Growing up on Staten Island, Barbara and I had often heard the legend of Cropsey. For the kids in our neighborhood, Cropsey was the escaped mental patient who lived in the tunnels beneath the old abandoned Willowbrook Mental Institution.
A pair of filmmakers who grew up on Staten Island decided to take a closer look at the New York version of the boogeyman, Cropsey, and how or if this urban legend fits into the mysteries involving a series of kidnapped youth in the 70s and 80s.
When your child disappears and you don't know where that child is, to a parent, the child is never dead.
From the letters prime suspect Andre Rand sends the documentarians claiming his innocence, to investigating the tunnels underneath the condemned Willowbrook State School for people with neurodevelopmental disabilities, and finally theories about devil worshippers, Cropsey is sure to send a chill down your spine.
Is there satanic cults, people that practice? Of course there is. But it's something that's kept very quiet, something that not many departments investigate.
Number 10, Zoo. You may remember this incident from the infamous video that circulated the web in the mid-2000s. Zoo covers not only Kenneth Pinion's, more commonly known as Mr. Hand's, life, but also the horrid act that led to his death and permanent notoriety.
Before I knew Mr. Hand's real name, it was always Mr. Ham's.
In 2005, his passing following a sexual act with a horse led to an investigation that would unsettle even the bravest viewers. The farm Pinion had utilized was a cover for an underground zoophile ring, where several men gathered to engage in adult activities with stallions. The documentary includes interviews with those engaged in the acts and even reenactments. It is an insane deep dive into one of the most disturbing paraphilias, and how it went unpunished for years.
The brother just kept saying, "Keep me away from this guy. Just keep me away from this guy."
Number 9, The Dancing Boys of Afghanistan. It's shocking how normalized some acts are, even if they are technically illegal. 2010's The Dancing Boys of Afghanistan delves into one of the more twisted underground sects of society, Bachabazi.
But to expose this secretive culture, first he has to get inside it.
Boys are kidnapped or coerced into dancing for older men, under the guise of making money for their families. Though banned in Afghanistan at the time of filming, it was still a thriving industry. Between footage of victims dancing while dressed in feminine regalia were scenes depicting men training a new child. What's even worse is that the abuse goes far beyond the performance, and that they are harshly punished if they fight back. It is a stark, brutal reminder of the dark underbelly of society, and how it continuously preys on the most vulnerable. Number 8. This is the Zodiac speaking. Much has been written about the Zodiac killings.
Get on your stomach so I can tie your feet. Okay. It gets really cold out here at night. We could freeze.
At this point, the case is among the most discussed serial tragedies in American history. This is the Zodiac Speaking is one of the most definitive documentaries about the case. It contains interviews with retired police officers and criminal profilers. Their first-hand accounts of the case give viewers unfettered access into the distressing story that has captivated Americans and true crime enthusiasts for decades. The disturbing story covers how Zodiac targeted innocent people and flippantly discussed his crimes. All the interviews in the documentary play on his notoriety. Seeing the impact the case has had on people's psyches is arguably even scarier than the story itself.
Well, I would say the paranoia initial lasted a good 6 to 7 months. People were very concerned, and it escalated every time after another reported killing.
Number 7, Deliver Us from Evil.
I mean, he took me out of the house. I said, you know, sometimes I get car sick on the road. He said, put your head on my lap, and boom, the abuse started. I mean, I was on Highway 12, you know, 2 minutes away from my house, and it started. And for 96 hours, that abuse was happening until my parents came and said, did you have fun with Father? And I'm like, he tickled me too much.
The Catholic Church has had a hand in covering up numerous underage abuse cases. This documentary dives into one case in particular, and how the internal protection of a predator had a ripple effect across several lives. It's centered around a Californian priest responsible for the assault of over 24 young victims during his tenure.
Here's somebody that I like. Here's somebody that I respect, whose family I respect. What will he feel like at the end of this? Yet at the other side, there was urges within me to be sexual with him.
Between haunting letters he sent detailing his horrific acts to testimonies revealing his vile manipulation tactics, it's hard not to watch without feeling extreme disgust. It was even revealed that other officials were aware of his crimes for years and took measures to shield him from the law, implying that they silently allowed the mistreatment to continue.
Are you at all concerned, Oliver, that if you give testimony that hurts the diocese, that they might revoke that?
I have a lot of concerns about a lot of things, and I guess that would be one of them.
Number 6, The Cannibal That Walked Free. Having aired on the British station Channel 5, The Cannibal That Walked Free is a nightmarish glimpse into one of humanity's darkest crimes. Through the lens of Japanese criminal Issei Sagawa, it explores the psychology behind cannibalism.
26 years ago, this man murdered and ate a woman in Paris. He has never stood trial. Today, he walks the Tokyo streets a free man.
In June of 1981, Sagawa killed and desecrated a student named René Hartefelt. But he was allowed to walk free thanks to a legal snafu between France and Japan. This documentary delves into Sagawa's crimes and the psychology behind his actions through interviews with Sagawa himself. Seeing this perturbing story get conveyed through the lens of the perpetrator can be skin-crawling. For many, it may prove too much to bear.
You see the beautiful girls on the train in the summer, and you see their legs, don't you? I think they look delicious. That much is true.
Number 5, The Bridge.
So then I cut over just to see, or maybe possibly help.
The Golden Gate Bridge may be one of America's most iconic landmarks and the image that comes to mind when you think of the city of San Francisco. But for many, its looming presence is a symbol of tragedy. This documentary takes a closer look at some of these tragic incidents in 2004, but it certainly isn't easy viewing. It remains controversial, with reports of bridge jumpers increasing after the documentary was released. And in 2015, it was even removed from Netflix in New Zealand.
Gene had people in this world that loved him. And he hurt them. If I see him again, that's what I want to tell him. He hurt me. And I didn't think he would ever do that.
Number 4, Jesus Camp.
Listen, we hold the keys. We can change the world.
This look at a summer camp for one branch of evangelical Christians has been disturbing viewers around the world since its initial release. Seen by many as a damning portrayal of allegedly abusive practices at camps like the featured Kids on Fire School of Ministry, it played a role in getting the camp shut down.
Father, we just wash them with the water of your word. We say no more, devil, no more.
The camp pastor, Becky Fisher, was forced to close the retreat due to backlash. But it's arguably a credit to the directors that you can't necessarily tell where their own sympathies lie while watching this movie. It's down to the viewer to decide what's right and what's wrong.
You could call it brainwashing, but I am radical and passionate in teaching children about their responsibility.
Number 3, Abducted in Plain Sight.
She looked up at me, her eyes beaming, and I knew that I had found the little girl that I was searching for.
Jan Broberg's story is particularly disturbing. When she was just an adolescent in the 1970s, one of the Broberg family's neighbors, Robert Berchtold, befriended Jan's parents and inserted himself into their lives.
Twice Berchtold abducted Jan, including taking her to Mexico.
His manipulation knew no bounds. Even after Jan was brought home the first time, her parents still allowed Berchtold to be around her, even letting him sleep in her bed.
I don't think I can ever really forgive myself for letting that happen.
By far the strangest detail is the recordings Berchtold made of aliens to further increase his influence on Jan. Thankfully, Jan and her family survived the long ordeal.
And I immediately thought I'd been kidnapped by a UFO.
Number 2. The act of killing.
Yang mati yang tidak wajar. Datang sini sehat. Sampai di sini dipukul mati.
With subject matter this heavy, the act of killing was always going to be a tough watch. In Indonesia, filmmaker Joshua Oppenheimer interviews former executioners who took part in the Indonesian mass killings of 1965 to 66. They reenact the killings in a variety of genres, including westerns and musicals, while Oppenheimer asks them both about their artistic choices in the portrayals and about the events themselves. The fun reenactments juxtaposed with the horrific topics they portray is extremely disturbing. It's not hard to see why this documentary remains so controversial.
Apakah ini kembali dia kepada saya?
Before we continue, be sure to subscribe to our channel and ring the bell to get notified about our latest videos. You have the option to be notified for occasional videos or all of them. If you're on your phone, make sure you go into your settings and switch on notifications. Number 1. Capturing the Friedmans.
Well, this is private, so if you're not me, then you really shouldn't be watching this, because this is supposed to be a private situation between me and me. It's between me now and me in the future. So turn it off. Don't watch this. This is private.
What started as a short film about birthday party entertainers devolved into something much, much darker. Capturing the Friedmans delves into the activities of a disturbed man and his son, whose crimes are thought to range from possession of abhorrent material to using computer classes as a guise for luring in victims. Once that came to light, the rest of the dominoes came crashing down.
If you were going to be the first one abused on a particular day, he would pull up a chair and sit next to you. Maybe it would start with his arm around your shoulder or on your leg, and gradually move it up, touching private parts.
It features recordings made by some of his sons, giving the audience glimpses into their troubled home life. However, even more disturbing is the defense of his vile actions. Both aspects make an already off-putting documentary all the more disturbing, creating a watch that is difficult for many viewers to get through.
The types of behaviors which were described, which were, just downright satanic in nature. I mean, they make him sound like some kind of brutal sadist, whereas, I had just always thought of him as being kind of a nebbish.
What's the creepiest documentary you've ever seen? Let us know in the comments.